what's one of the main things that could make someone become friend zoned? Like, he got interest, but he's like, nah, you cool, but I got to just put you in the friend zone and you can't come out that box. Is there anything that men do to make them get in that box, and how can they maybe prevent it?
I would friend zone someone right away if you have multiple female friends.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, do you got a lot of male friends though?
The Highest Point Podcast. More than a pod, it's a lifestyle.
Yo, welcome to the Highest Point Podcast. This is a podcast for everyone, no matter where you're from, no matter what you've been through. You know you deserve the best and willing to put in the work for progress to reach the highest point. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very special guest in the building. Speaking about reaching the highest point, someone that pushes forward. We have Miss Carolina Charm in the building. What's happening with you? How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Absolutely. I'm so happy to have you on today. I've been looking forward to this interview. Got so many questions for you. But one thing about our platform, we like to get into the journey of people. Because a lot of times people just see you got about 300,000 followers on TikTok. People just see like the end result of things. They don't know the behind the scenes. So can we get a little background about like where you're from and how you grew up with your family dynamics?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'm originally from Wilmington, North Carolina. I have always been a loner, and I went to school for exercise physiology.
Okay.
That's always been a passion of mine. And I still remain in that field as well. I train about 4 days a week, so awesome. That makes me pretty happy. It does.
That's dope. You know how many people go to college and don't do nothing near what their degrees was or school? So that's amazing. You can actually work in your passion.
Yeah.
Because guess what? I'm one of them. I went to school for electronics and computer technology, but I found my career in healthcare. It's just so strange.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. But can you give me a little bit? I didn't know you was a trainer. So like, do you like train classes? How does that? What do you do?
I don't train as often as I used to. But years ago, I did used to teach body step aerobics.
Oh, nice.
But they don't really have as many classes as they used to back then.
Yeah.
But when I see one, I'm like, yeah, ready to go for it. It's one of my favorite aerobic activities.
Absolutely. And I also heard you say you always been a loner. Like, so do you have any siblings? Did you grow up with any siblings? Were you only child, mom, dad? How was that growing up?
I do. I have one brother. He passed 2007.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Was it 2000? No, 2003 he passed. And I don't have any sisters.
Okay.
So it's just me for now.
Okay. Mom, dad, they still in the picture? Did you grow up? Oh, awesome. So you
are still married, still together.
Awesome.
Yeah, happy marriage. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you had that good foundation, and that's growing up. That's very interesting as well. Because when you said you was a loner, that made me think like, okay, where did that come from? Is there anything behind that? Did you like in high school, middle school? Did you have any like issues growing up like that?
Well, I've always dealt with a little bit of social anxiety. Kind of like I guess you would say like an introvert.
Oh, okay.
So, there's a lot of introverts out there,
It is. I'm
social, but I do feel like I get energy when I'm by myself for some reason. Like have more time to think and just come up with new ideas for sure. Absolutely.
Less of the chaos if you can and I always tell people if you can be happy just being around you, I'm sure no one else will have a problem being around you. But sometimes people like to be so occupied and just staying busy. They can't stand being by themselves.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's so true.
Now, when it comes to like, still like on the loner aspect, because I'm kind of like that same way. But we are both on this thing called social media. And, you're an introvert, but somehow you gained a large following being an introvert. What do you think basically was one of the reasons of that, knowing that you was an introvert and didn't really talk to a lot of people?
No, I felt like I had more time because I didn't have a lot of friends, and I kind of somehow ended up on social media. I'm like, well, I have time. I'm never hanging out, party or anything. So why not just get on here and have a little fun?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just sometimes, just let your guard down, try something new, just get out there. You just never know. I know social media has helped some people with social anxiety. Because I also understand, I hear you talking about it on live. What are some things that help you get over it? Because this is different from making a clip for like on a post, because you can edit that. But when you're live, you're live. And I know social anxiety can tap in with that. How do you cope with that?
Well, honestly, I don't drink tea as much as I used to on live, but I would probably make 1 to 2 cups each time I would go live, just so I can be calm or relaxed, or hot chocolate, something hot really helps me with that. And stress balls, I usually have one of those around me too.
Right.
And yeah, I'm able to talk more. It's more comforting that way to me.
Oh, dope. Also, when it comes to, I know we talked about your kids. Do you have kids? How many kids do you have?
I have 4 kids. I have 1 boy and 3 girls.
Wow, that's awesome. I grew up the opposite. I got 3 brothers and 1 sister. So, and I'm the youngest. They talk junk to me about that, but you know how that is. So when it comes to motherhood, what are some things that you love about motherhood, and what are some challenging things when it comes to motherhood?
I'm so glad that I'm a multitasker because, as a single mom, you have, your hands full.
Right.
So time can be challenging. Sometimes I'm like, gosh, I wish I had more time. But one thing I never let stop me, I never stop working out just because I have my hands full. I always have time to do that,
Yeah.
Like you just take your kids with you. They have child watch,
Oh, that's dope. What do you? Well, I don't know if I want to, but we didn't say where you at. So, what type of gyms have childcare? Like, is it a certain age range? Like, how does that work?
Well, most gyms have child watch. They usually go up to maybe 13 or 14.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes my son will work out with me because he's 14, and
Nice.
little kids are in there. He doesn't want to be around a bunch
Right.
of little kids. So let's wait for mom.
Yeah, that's what's up. And that's some such discipline, because time, like, it goes by so fast, and it's just hard to bring in working out. But it's so important for your life. You only got one body, so we got to take care of that body and try to make it strong.
Mm-hmm.
So where you get that self-discipline from? Is it because that's something you just always had a passion in?
I've always had a passion in it. And when I was a little girl, my mom used to have videotapes for fitness, and I would get on the mat with my mom and exercise with her at home. And I was like, Mom and Dad, can you sign me a contract at the gym? They're like, no, we're not doing that. But as soon as I turned 18, I signed one. And I was so happy. And probably like 3 or 4 years after being a part of the gym, I spoke with the group instructor. I was like, how can I teach? I want to teach.
Right.
And so she sent me off the training. It was only for a weekend or so.
Right.
Learning photography. So that was a lot of fun.
Awesome. So I understand, like, when it comes to motherhood, multitasking is very important. Also carving out some time just for yourself, going to a gym, just making sure you keep yourself upbeat. And I understand you also said that you're, a single mother. Have you been a single mother for a long amount of time? Have you been married? You ever been divorced? What's kind of how you been through that particular situation?
I've never been married before. I do want to get married one day. I want to make sure I'm ready, though. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do.
That's so important.
Yeah, I want to do it one time. I do.
You on to something right there. You on to something. And I know probably they got something to do with, you just seeing your mother and father as well. They staying together for so long. So how do you know when you're ready, though?
Right. I guess, it's going to take that strong vibe and connection and, building trust.
Yes.
So many things. Learning him learning your habits and all of that, and
Yeah.
same thing vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. So true. Like, cause I'm married now, but I took so much time to be sure about it. Um,
Right?
you know, just going through the process, and trust is so hard to come by, because I ran into a lot of, well, I'm not gonna say a lot of situations, but I had, prior relationships that totally just took my trust away. So it's kind of hard for
Yes.
me to, allow me to give that to somebody else. Speaking about
Right.
social anxiety, like trust anxiety, I definitely had that, just afraid to just give that to someone. But after a while, consistency breaks through it all for me. That's when I just saw consistency, and that's one of the main things that really helped me be able to give that trust. Have you been close to feeling like you can get that trust to someone? What does it take for someone to gain your trust? Because I know there's some gentlemen out there that's interested. How can they gain your trust? What do they need to do?
Right. I feel like I'm this type of person, like, I'm going to trust you all the way at first,
Mm-hmm.
and then I feel like it chips away. Like, say if there's been any type of lies or anything like that, it's just like, okay, I'm starting not to trust you as much.
Right.
But, through like past hurts and stuff like that, I would always say, I'll never get in another relationship. I don't ever want to get married.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you heal, you get rid of that, those negative things that you
Right.
were thinking just because you were hurt,
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. Time heals it all. And we just got to give some things some time. That's why I don't like to say never, because I done went back on my word a couple times saying that.
Yeah.
It's like when you get drunk so wasted, you're like, I'm never going to drink again. But
Oh, yeah, for sure.
it comes right back around. So that's awesome. So hey, if you basically you give someone an opportunity, you trust them first. If they mess it up, it just chips away. So it's best thing
Yeah.
to do. Don't chip away. Be upfront and honest. I did have a question thinking about trust and relationships. Say if you're dating someone and this thing's starting to get serious, you feeling this guy, and he's feeling you, and he want to kind of take things up a notch. And he say, you already been doing social media. And he come to you and say, look, babe, I love you to death. I want to take things to another level. But in order to do that, to help me be more comfortable, would you mind altering some type of post that you create for me? Now, would you be willing to do that, or would that be like, well, you found me like this, so you're going to try to make me change, or is that going to be a red flag for you?
I wouldn't say that it would be a red flag, because if I'm with someone, we're together, we're as one, I'm not going to directly come out and say no if you ask me something. It's about making a joint decision.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I want to make you happy,
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing something to make you uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind altering, my post if you're uncomfortable with that.
Oh, wow. That's a grown woman answer right there.
Yeah.
And I think that's because just like we got to think about things when it comes, like, if you ask him something that's making you uncomfortable, you want him to be open and willing to compromise as well. I think that's so important. A lot of us, well, I'm not going to say us, but things I see in this culture that's starting to come about now, it seems like they're changing the definition of a strong woman. I think a strong woman knows how to compromise. I also think a strong man knows how to compromise, because that takes mental strength to do that and understand the bigger picture. And is this person is this person important enough for you want to make sure you accommodate, and help them when it comes to their confidence of things, how they feel, everything. So,
right, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's really cool that you said that, and I think that's something that a lot of people could learn from. No one's trying to change you; they're just telling about their comfortability and if you can support that or not. So cool.
Right, and of course, I would want him to carry the same energy. If I'm uncomfortable with things that he's doing, vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all about communication.
Yes.
If you don't have good communication, it's kind of like, it's not a good thing.
Yes.
Definitely not. Mm-hmm.
It got to be communication. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like when I'm in the crib, we chilling, like we can't even spark nothing. Like what are we here for?
Right.
You know,
Yeah, for sure.
just some bodies there. We need to be able to, and also enhance each other. You know, challenge each other.
Yeah.
Way of thinking, because just because things we grew up, so many things I grew up learning. Some things I had to unlearn as I got older, because I learned that that's just not how things are these days. Things has changed. Time has changed. So things evolve. So
exactly.
Yeah, that's so important.
It is. I've always said I've had an old soul. And people will tell me that. They've been telling me that since I was a teenager, like, you have an old soul, and I can really feel that. I really feel like I could have lived way back in the days.
Right.
For sure.
Like you probably match up with more people. And not be an introvert.
Right. Yeah.
That's what's up. So even with still talking about kind of like the relationship thing, I know one thing a lot of men have asked before is like, what's one of the main things that could make someone become friend zoned? Like, he got interest, but he's like, nah, you cool, but I got to just put you in the friend zone, and you can't come out that box. Is there anything that men do to make them get in that box, and how can they maybe prevent it?
I would friend zone someone right away if you have multiple female friends.
Ooh.
Yeah, for sure. Or if you don't know how to set your priorities first, and I feel like you can't change that. Like, you got to put your priorities first, for sure.
Right.
Like, because when I'm married, I want that person to be responsible,
I'm telling you. That's it. Now, let me ask you, do you got a lot of male friends, though?
I don't, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time, I'm either with my kids, by myself, or I rest so much, like more than I want to, because the lupus makes me so exhausted.
Yes.
Like 10, 11 hours a day. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you, brought that part up too, because I did want to ask you, so I know you're a lupus survivor, still living with lupus. How old when you first got diagnosed?
I was diagnosed 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. So what was that, 2017?
Wow. It seemed like most people that I know, they are diagnosed later on in life. It's like,
yeah.
But was there, like, do you recall like symptoms as you were younger, or things kind of came all of a sudden about 5-6 years ago?
Well, I know I've always been a heavy sleeper, but 5 years ago I was going up the stairs and I noticed like some really bad pain. I'm starting in my ankles, and I'm like, I'll just take a painkiller. Then it started to travel up my body, like through my legs, feeling it in my arms. I developed a rash, on my arms and stuff like that. And I called my mom and dad. They were like, just get some rest, take some painkillers or whatever. I was like, nah, I'm gonna go to the doctor. I need to see what's going on. When something doesn't feel right.
Right.
I went to my primary care, and they were like, we need to reference you out to a rheumatologist. And they did. And they're like, yeah, it's lupus, SLE. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So, they started treating me, and, I started feeling better. I did. I still deal with the symptoms, but they're definitely not as intense as they were when I was first diagnosed and all of that, because it used to be extreme. I wouldn't be able to do my kids' hair because I had rashes on my palms and fingertips. And it was a difficult time, and I lost a lot of my hair, but I gained all of that back. I never thought it would flourish again, but it did, and that makes me so happy.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so I'm so glad you made that decision instead of putting it off. Sometimes we do that, but you decided, like, you know what, this feels a little off. You listen to your instincts, and that's so important. I'm telling you, because you went to someone you trusted, you love, and they love and trust you, but no one knows your body better than you. So it's best for you to listen to your instincts.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So is there anything that these last 5 years that you've learned that help you, cope with lupus? Like, is there any things that help you, like your days get better when maybe a flare up comes? I know some days can be great, then out the blue, you can have a bad day.
Definitely. Now I've always been a calm person, but I'm extra calm now because, say like getting upset and stuff like that can trigger a flare up. I can't get too cold because I do something called Raynaud's, where your feet and hands become like white and blue and they become numb.
Right.
And sometimes I get irritated or something like that. That can happen. Yes, I just try to be as healthy as possible. Make sure I eat a well balanced meal.
Right.
Go easy on the sugar because I love candy. But just getting plenty of rest and drink green tea. I do love yogi tea. I drink that too, just to be relaxed.
Awesome. And I'm so glad that you're revealing this, because there's a lot of women out there or men that's living with lupus and don't realize, hey, they're probably experiencing some of these symptoms and haven't took that step to go to the doctor and find out. And it would be best if they did, because how you gave your testimony and how you started feeling better after you went, getting yourself knowledgeable, taking proper medications, learning how to take care of your body even more, probably things to eat, and that mental things, being calm, make sure you're not in a stressful environment is so important.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah. So you probably, even when it comes to, finding your special person, they probably need to be someone well mature, calm, and don't bring any stress in Miss Carolina Charm's life.
Right. Exactly. That's so true. Very important.
Yeah, that's what's up. Because my mother-in-law, she actually has lupus, and
she does.
Yes, and she talks about it, and she's a little older, and she was just recently diagnosed a few years ago, so she was living with it this whole time, and and didn't really know what was going on. But the flare-ups didn't get as severe until a few years later. Well, a few years ago, that's when she went to the doctor. But it's just wow. I heard it's like kind of hereditary from like passing on from the female genes to each other as well. But I'm not a specialist, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's so true. I had an aunt that had it. She's not with us anymore. And then it's me and my first cousin, who's also another female.
Yeah, okay. That is what I've heard. So okay. Wow. And I know the conversation you all have probably can help each other as well. Just, banding together, sharing each other experiences and things like that.
Definitely, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
It does. When I first found out I was dealing with this, the first thing I did was create like another IG page and follow other lupus warriors. Because it's so important not to feel alone.
Right. A community. Oh my goodness. I try to tell people that all the time. It's important to like have a community of people that you can relate to, because sometimes when we feel like we're all alone in a situation, that's going to make it more stressful.
Yes, for sure.
But you can see some people out there living and thriving, and they have the same diagnosis as you. Like, hey, why can't I? And
right. Yeah.
Right. And also right now, people looking at you, you got your glow, you got your zebra print on, just looking good, doing your thing. They were like, you know what? I was feeling bad, but I can get out there. I can go hit the gym, do what I need to do, take care of my body, and I can I can work this thing out and live.
Definitely. For sure. I never let it stop me. I remember taking baby steps on a treadmill when I was first diagnosed, but I made in my mind that I just wasn't going to stop working out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you as well, when it came to your social media, do you do that more so for fun? Do you get do you do anything with business with it as well?
I do it for fun, and business has come with it before too, like certain promos.
Yeah.
Product or maybe clothes or something like that.
Nice.
I know. I think it was sometime last year I was given some really nice quality gym clothes that I still have. I love them. They've been washed and dried so many times that the shape hasn't even changed.
Oh, that's
And I
awesome.
can't remember the brand, but I love it.
Yeah.
I
So
love
did
it.
they find you? Did you reach out to them? How did that work?
They found me. They said, I saw your page, and they'll send me a message on IG, and I do respond to business DMs because I really like that type of stuff.
Right. That's what's up. I mean, I know people like to, hear how, but they'll find you. They'll find you for sure. It sounds like you are, evidence of that.
Yes.
And when you said you answer business emails or DMs or whatever, it sounds like you may have been had some engagement with some weirdos. Anything crazy that you just heard from someone out here on this social media platform? There was any craziness that some people come at you with?
I've heard it all. I really have. To be honest, I feel like I was probably bullied the first entire year.
What?
On TikTok.
Like other women?
I like both.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't let it stop me though. I didn't.
Yeah.
No, at all. I feel like as long as you're confident within yourself, like what other people are saying about you, it shouldn't matter to you.
So true. They don't know you from a can of paint. And sometimes people just be talking just to be talking and trying to get you to respond to them. They're just hoping to get some attention in some way. I've learned that. I heard a lot of crazy things too. I'm sure you heard 10 times as much as me, just because people come at, women much more, I feel. We don't have to men don't deal with the cat calling as much as y'all, of course. But yeah, I'm glad you had that type of mentality, because hey, you wouldn't be where you at right now if you would have let that stuff bother you. You wouldn't have no sponsorships. You wouldn't be able to, be a motivation to other warriors as well. Like, so I just want you to just keep doing your thing and keep it up.
Definitely. I would definitely love to do more for the Lupus warrior community. I would. I don't know if I would need to make like another TikTok page, or because sometimes if you do certain things on say like I'm doing dancing right now, sometimes it confuses the algorithm.
Oh,
so
got you.
I'm like, maybe I should make another page. I think I would love that.
Yeah, and connected too somehow. Or do you have like a YouTube channel, anything like that?
I just started a YouTube ASMR. I need to put more posts out though.
Okay. But I think that's a great idea. I think you should, because like you said, the lupus community building with each other is so important.
It really is, absolutely. And a lot of people, just like I made one post about lupus on TikTok the other day, and like, I never knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just try to be as normal as possible. For sure, I think that's very important. You still have to live. Life is not going to stop for you.
That's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. And you said that so well. I can just close it right there. Is there anything else you would like to tell the people before we wrap it up?
I thank you for inviting me out to my very first podcast. I really enjoyed it.
The first.
Yeah, you get the first.
Yeah, first of many to come, because I can tell you got a lot of great things to say. Also, we'll be more than happy to have you on again. Maybe we can come up with some great ideas for the lupus community and get some more things out there, because I feel it's very important, because it's close to me as well with my mother-in-law. So, let's continue to build and figure some things out for sure.
I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the questions that you asked me as well.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for joining us. So everyone, hold it down. Don't let it hold you. Till the next time, we out. Peace.
The Highest Point Podcast. More than a pod, it's a lifestyle.